And welcome back to the Workplace Benefits channel. In this video I'm going to talk about what's probably one of the most common types of life insurance that people have, and that's basic group term life insurance. Now in the last video I talked about what life insurance is. Pretty simple concept, but if you want to review that video I got a link to it in one of the corners of the video here. But my name is Michael. I'm president of GLG America. My role is to try and make sure that if the worst happens to an employee or one of their family members, that you've done everything you can to make sure that they're prepared for that. Now let's talk about today's topic, basic group life insurance. Now what is it? Now usually an employer gives some amount of life insurance to the employee, and that's called basic group life, and every employee gets it. That's usually full-time. A lot of times part-time employees don't have it, and sometimes if you don't take the health insurance you don't have it either. So every plan is different, but in general full-time employees, they have some form of basic group life insurance that they just have. Now typically the employer picks up the cost of this life insurance, so while there is a cost to it, the employer kind of just makes that as just an employee benefit that they give. I have seen groups where the employee pays a nominal amount, like $1 or something like that, just to have that amount of life insurance. Now typically it's a flat amount. That amount could be like $50,000. In a lot of groups it's like 10, 15, 20,000, or it could be a function of your salary. So whatever that amount is, if something happens and you die while you're an employee of the company and it's enforced, then it would pay your beneficiary. Now it has a few downsides, and that is that the employee doesn't control this insurance. So I've had groups where they've eliminated it entirely. Now while they could always raise it, and I've had that happen in groups too, they can also reduce it. So you don't necessarily have any control over that as an employee, and you're kind of at the mercy of the employer for what they give you. But it's usually a pretty stable benefit. It's usually kind of always the same. And what's funny is, though, you'll talk to employees, you go, now you get some life insurance just for being an employee here, and they'll go, yeah, I get something. And I go, well, do you know how much that is? Well, no, I don't really know. And you might even ask 4 or 5 people, they'd all give you a different amount. And sometimes even the HR department, the representative there, might not even know the amount. But there usually is some amount of life insurance there. So it's good insurance, but the downside to it is that typically it only lasts while you're employed, and then you don't have it anymore. So while they try and work everybody to death, most of us live past and retire after and die after we're done working. And so usually it expires worthless. Now there's always a chance that the basic group term life insurance could be portable or convertible, and we'll go over those concepts later, but the vast majority of times it just expires worthless. The other thing is that if you're part of the group, once you reach certain ages, sometimes that coverage will reduce. So if you get to be 65, 70 years old and you're still working, and you originally had $20,000 of insurance, it might be cut in half. It might go down to 0, but at some point it's going to expire if you live long enough. So that's basic group term life insurance. Again, it's good insurance. The employee doesn't own it. The employee doesn't control it, and chances are they're going to outlive it. Now it'll certainly do what it's supposed to do, and that's pay if they die while they have it. And so it's still a valuable benefit for employees to have. But the problem is that employees kind of they rely on that too much, and that sometimes that's all they have. So anyway, that's basic group term life insurance. In the next video, we'll talk about what another type of group term insurance, and that'll be group voluntary term or group supplemental term that employees can pick up to add on to the basic group life. Anyway, my name is Michael, and here's to helping us prepare our employees if the worst would ever happen. Have a great day.